Hey, for those of you that haven't heard, I have a really cool mini-series coming out next year, 2020. We're gonna do a mini-series called The Pursuit of Happiness. I did a lot of interviews and got to meet up with a lot of cool people. Two of those I'm gonna share with you in the video today, and they're actually celebrities off of the History Channel, but they're doing some pretty remarkable stuff. I'm Jesse, and you're watching Outside is Calling.
Intro video.
So the whole background behind this mini-series is I wanted to find people that are living remarkable lives, and essentially my goal with my family is to live the best life we can. And it's something that we strive for and really try to attain, you know, the best life for us. It's not gonna be the same best life for somebody else. We're all gonna have our own versions of the best life. And that's why in this series, as we traveled, I was able to meet some really cool people throughout the eastern US. We went from Florida up to Bar Harbor, Maine, back down, and a lot of places in between. And so it was just a really cool chance to meet people from all different backgrounds, I guess essentially living their best life on their terms. And that's how this whole video kind of came together, was trying to make something that's actually inspirational, something that might benefit viewers, you know, give people ideas on people that are living life differently, and people that, you know, I guess the focus was people that are finding happiness and fulfillment. That's really the key driver. My wife Jenny Tucker and I, for those of you new to the channel, we travel full time. We mostly travel in an RV. We do some international travel as well, and it's really fun traveling. We have a good time, but you know, it's still life. There's still some things that are less than ideal. We still get plenty of arguments, and so we're always trying to like find that utopia, that perfect balance of fun and work and, you know, happiness as a family. And so a great way for us to discover what works or doesn't work for us is to see how other people are successfully making that work in their lives. And that's kind of how this whole video came to be, was like, you know, hey, what are other people doing out there? You know, what are people doing to find happiness and fulfillment? And that's actually how the title of this miniseries, I had to think 3 or 4 other titles beforehand, and I think we're kind of locked in. It's not official yet, but it's probably going to be called The Pursuit of Happiness. I think that kind of is the best description of what this series is about. People that are finding happiness and fulfillment. So, one downfall for having shared offices is you hear your neighbor's answer machine. It's a pretty quiet office otherwise. So creating this series was a very big undertaking. It's a lot of work for just little old me to do, capture the footage, capture the stories, shoot the video, plan the videos, put them in order and edit them and produce them. So it's a big project, and I'm excited I'm actually in the post-production phase now of editing these videos and making them, you know, come to fruition. And so one of the first things I've done, I've actually rented, this is just the background back here, but we're actually in an office space I've rented. So the office space here is kind of a way to get out of our RV, which we live in, our RV, and so you can imagine trying to do like important work in a small space. I'm sure it can be done. It's less than ideal, so I rented an office space, and we're really trying to take our business to the next level, create good videos, also create some other things I'll tell you about in the future. And so this has been really cool so far. I mean, as you can see, the video, this will probably be better than our past videos because I actually have a nice quiet area, relatively quiet area, that I can set up cameras and mics, etc. I have a mic up here that has good audio, just all the little things I couldn't do in an RV. In fact, let me just grab the camera here, I'll pan it around, I'll show you guys the office here. Here you can see all the lights I have that are around me, and over here is my desk where I'm working at, and this is where I'll be editing the videos. And I'll have a pretty cool view out the window. In the distance I can see the ocean and know when I should or should not go surfing. It's been a busy week here at the studio. My son Tucker had his Christmas little rehearsal.
Mama.
Jackson, you gotta stay in line, baby. You gotta stay in line.
It's okay. You're gonna sing.
Did you sit?
Thank you. It's okay. Gigi's here.
All right, Cameron. Okay.
yesterday I turned 40 years old. That's a pretty big mark. For those of you wondering, I don't feel that much older yet. We actually went wakeboarding for my birthday, so I do feel old today. I feel my back and everything's just kind of sore from having not wakeboarded in so long. But it's pretty cool to get out with my wife and go do some wakeboarding, have some fun, and have a down day for my birthday. Anyways, to wrap it up, we've got a lot going on here at my office/studio, and I'm excited to share with you guys as I start making the different parts and pieces of these videos, share some of it with you and leak it out there to see what y'all think, and hopefully I think you'll agree that it's pretty exciting stuff. Coming out next week, what I'm going to do is I'll show you a little bit of the video today, but next week I'll have a video clip. It was kind of an impromptu little cool thing, just kind of serendipitous. For those of you that have heard of the History Channel, there's a show called Mountain Men. And it's these guys, and I think it's mostly guys, but these people that are living out in the wilderness and kind of like living off the land and just kind of doing the whole like backwoods homesteading kind of mountain man stuff. And a really cool figure in that TV series, called, his name is Eustace Conway, is a really, really interesting human that I've had the privilege to talk to on a few occasions. And so we were traveling through Boone, North Carolina on our RV trip, and I reached out and I was able to get a hold of both Eustace and Desere, who run Turtle Island Preserve. I actually went to Turtle Island Preserve and I did an interview with Desere, but then it got rainy, it got dark, it wasn't the best conditions, it was just kind of just nasty cold. I think this is in November. It was a cold November, North Carolina, wet, rainy day. So then we actually went to a warmer, drier place, and it was a really cool setting. There was a fire going, and I did an interview with Eustace, and for those of you that don't know who he is, he's a really interesting guy, and he has a lot of wisdom for those of us that are willing to listen to, ways to find a better life. And while I'm not saying that everyone needs to, unplug and go off grid, he has some really great points though on some of the flaws with, our society and the norms, the social norms. But what was really cool is after shooting the video interview with Eustace, Raleigh was there as well, and we got to talking, and it was kind of a little impromptu discussion between Eustace and Raleigh. So I'm doing a horrible job of explaining what this video is even about. So instead of trying to explain it, I'll just share it with you here. But yeah, this is Eustace Conway and Raleigh Avery.
Oh, I really liked them. They were nice.
They're really sweet people.
Smoky apple flavor.
Smoky apple flavor. Yeah, so this is my friend Raleigh Avery, he's a young fella. Yeah, and you have a background of hanging out in nature and valuing that, and being more of a free thinker than most of your peers. I don't know if Raleigh would reflect on that himself and say it in that way, but I can safely say it. And proud to be working with this young fella as a student. He's a good student. So Raleigh, at Turtle Island, which is the summer camp and education center that you came to,
Grew up in.
You learned some skills like blacksmithing
Mhm.
and different plants and trees, learned some about independence. What, if you reflect back at it at this age, like, because when you were learning blacksmithing and your mom said, "What have you been learning?" You'd be like, "I've been learning blacksmithing. We got metal and we beat on it. We made things." And so that would be really obvious to you and anyone looking at our camp or our brochure. But at this age in life, what are some of the things that you have realized that you learned from being a student at Turtle Island?
Well, the most important things and the broader concepts that I've reflected on over the years as I've grown up and started to recognize this impact and lessons that I've taken from experiences at Turtle Island is more about building confidence and understanding that I can not only learn like blacksmithing or woodworking, or like how to camp out overnight under a tarp when it's raining and cold. It's not so much about the specific task or skill, but it's knowing that I can learn anything that empowers me to have more ability and basically more freedom in my life. Like I can choose to live a certain way, or choose to have a lifestyle that incorporates this, this, and this versus the normal kind of thing that everybody gets into nowadays.
What is the normal thing that everybody gets into these days?
That's a good question. That's a question everybody should be asking. I mean, people basically work a little bit and make enough money to get by and spend the rest of their time entertaining themselves with largely meaningless media. I mean, it's just getting by. You know, nobody's really richly fulfilling their life with things that are meaningful and empowering and beautiful. It's kind of just like what's hot, what's new, what keeps me entertained in the moment, versus like what's important in my life, what can be a mainstay in my life, what can I depend on, what can I grow from, what can I learn from, what can empower me to have a better, richer, more meaningful life, not just for me, but for me and my community, or me and my family, or me and my personal relationships. People aren't really concerned about the deeper, more important things in life. It's more about just getting by, day to day, moment to moment, second to second. I mean, scrolling through social media, people are losing focus in a matter of seconds and going to the next thing because they're dependent on some kind of fast-paced, entertaining media to keep them going. It's really an emotional and psychological addiction that people have to
stimulant.
Yeah, to meaningless stimuli.
And they've got to have their next fix.
Yeah.
And not an hour from now, but like now.
Yeah, and it's nobody's fault. It's just that they weren't given the experiences and opportunities to learn how to sustain themselves with something that's healthier. Was I giving you good stuff, answering your question, talking too much?
Did an excellent job.
Giving too much subject? Okay, cool.
So what is like something that you got out of your Turtle Island experience and or any other big influence in your life that you think was really significant and leads or guides or empowers you today?
Very basically, I learned confidence. Like you've described so many times, just confidence and conviction to follow things that you're passionate about or interested in. And I don't know if you remember this at all, but the very first message that you ever sent to me was, do whatever you believe in, no matter what. And so that was built upon at camp through other people at Turtle Island. That was built upon through the counselors and teammates that make those experiences happen. And very basically, it's been confidence and personal empowerment to seek things that make me happy or just interest me, or I believe will be meaningful to my life or other people's lives.
So I hope you enjoyed watching this little tidbit of Eustace and Raleigh talking. What's really cool is like these are the kind of celebrities that I really want to work with and learn from and be around. Sure, there's plenty of movies with big name actors and stuff, and yeah, celebrities, that's kind of neat, but I don't really care much about a celebrity who's famous just because they've been in a movie and portrayed a character. What I thought was the coolest thing about this discussion was just the fact that that these are two guys that are living remarkable lives, and as you'll see as the series progresses, I'll have even more interesting people to share with you. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next video.